I'm going to tell you something Jesus said one time. Jesus never hid this, by the way. He never hid the fact. He said this in Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. Jesus said, this is from the Bible text. You can enter God's kingdom, Jesus said, only through the narrow gate. He said, the highway to hell is broad. See, you thought that was an AC/DC song, didn't you? Jesus said it first. That's in the text. The highway to hell is broad, and its gate is wide for the many who choose that way. Verse 14, but the gateway to life, this is what Jesus said, is very narrow. And the road is difficult. This is what it says in the text. Only a few will ever find it. How you doing? You say, what does it mean? What are you talking about? To remain faithful, Dan, what are you talking about? Well, it means this. It means that we trust Jesus, we believe Jesus. It means we honor Jesus, watch this, first and foremost above everything else. Above everything else. Well, what about my faith? Above everything else. It's a steadfast allegiance to Jesus, watch this, even if it's not easy or comfortable or popular, because it won't always be easy, comfortable, or popular. Faithfulness means, with God's help, by the way, nobody can do this on our own. With God's help, we're going to attempt to remain obedient. There's an obedience factor here. We're going to, with God's help, remain obedient to Jesus and who he is and what he said and what he taught. See, faithfulness is not just, I'm saying all the right things. That's good. I hope you're saying all the right things. But it's more than that. It's I'm living the way I'm living the way God calls me to live. I'm not a prophet, far from it, and I'm not prophesying. But I was thinking about it this week. I'm just looking at where things are these days and where they appear to be heading, like in the culture that we live in. And it seems very, very fair to me to say that being faithful to Jesus is likely to get increasingly more difficult in our society in the United States. I think it will be increasingly more difficult. I think that's true. I wish that wasn't true, but I think it is. Our culture, in some ways, is moving farther and farther and farther away from the attitudes and the values of God as revealed to us in his word. Here, I'll give you an example. Here's one example. This is an interesting example. There are churches these days, supposedly Christian churches, that are subtly undermining the trustworthiness, subtly undermining the trustworthiness and the authority of the Bible. Churches are. And it's not just that the culture is moving further away from Christian values. That's happening. But the problem with it is we live within a culture. We don't live in a little, we don't live in our own little self-contained pod somewhere. We live in this culture. And so there's a sort of a pressure. Everybody's kind of expected to get on board and go along or comply, or it's not going to be easy for you. I understand that. I realize that. So again, remaining faithful will be difficult. Are you understanding, remnant?
Would you do me a favor? Would you please like and share this video and subscribe to this channel? That will help us be more effective at spreading the good news.